We're now going to be looking at the bones of the wrist as well as the bones of the hand. I'm holding right now straight across the bones which would make up the middle part of your hand or the palm of your hand. These are known as the metacarpals. Metacarpals. You have 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually they're numbered the opposite way from the thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then up here above, these smaller bones, of which in each of the digits from 2, 3, 4, and 5, we have 3 small bones. And in fact, if you look at your own hand, you can identify by the creases those 3 small bones. Take a look at the thumb. The thumb has 2 small bones. I'm going to hold on to the metacarpals for a second, looking at a posterior view of the back of the hand and wrist. And we can see these small bones here. There are actually 8 small bones here called the carpal bones. I'm going to turn this around, looking at the anterior, also known as palmar view. And I'm going to show you this bone right here, this one which articulates with the distal end of the radius. This is known as the scaphoid. Scaphoid. And over here is the lunate. The reason I point these 2 bones out in particular is that you can see when the wrist flexes and extends that those are the only 2 bones that essentially make contact with any part of the wrist, known as the radiocarpal joint. You can see here that the ulna, the distal end of the ulna, there's quite a big space, not a lot of contact in terms of bone-on-bone contact. This is filled, in fact, with a kind of fibrocartilage. Scaphoid lunate. And then the other bones that we have in the wrist, there's this one here called the triquetrum, which is a 3-sided bone. There's a little P-shaped bone up here called the pisiform, meaning P-shaped. There's this one interesting bone right under the thumb. It looks like a saddle. It's called trapezium under the thumb. There's a small bone. I'm just going to turn this around so it's a little easier to see. Underneath the first or index finger is called the trapezoid. Then the largest bone is called the capitate. And then finally turning around, looking again at the palmar surface, there's a big hook here called hamate, and it kind of looks like, well, ham. So that's called the hook of hamate, and the whole bone is called the hamate. So those are the carpal bones. We're mainly going to talk about them as carpal bones, but I would like you to know for sure the scaphoid, it is a commonly fractured bone. And again, metacarpals in the part of your hand which is fleshy, and then phalanges, and we have, of course, 5 fingers, 3 phalanges in digits 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 2 phalanges in the first digit.